Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Reporting live, reporting live. What's going on, y'all? It's your favorite blurs pulling up on the weekend. You know how it is. Go ahead, tell a friend, tell a friend. Let's go ahead and have some good times discussing what we do on a weekly basis. I am your boy, the real Vince Taylor, joined by the rest of the new Blurred Order clique. Y'all know how we do, and we gonna go ahead and get right on into it because we ain't got time for the bullshit, boy. Why is they fucking with Blade? I don't know. Yvette, tell us what it
I
is.
love the new Blurred Order. You should too.
Whoa. Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old gang. Ain't shit changed except nine got a name. Got it out the mud but we got no stains. Cold ass bitch with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. The nigga stay clean so he always got hoes. Light skinny bitches like.
All right. As I said, report live, report live. Hey, look, we got a lot to discuss today. Let's just go ahead and go over a couple of the topics. Obviously, we want to talk about whatever the fuck is going on with this Blade reboot and whether or not they're going to take it seriously or not, or they going to keep lobbing it around like some shit that they really don't want to do but feel forced to do. Also, I'm loving the fact that we are now officially casting for the James Gunn version of the Lanterns, which they are looking at real black stars for John Stewart. And I think that honestly, between me and you, and we could talk about this if y'all want, I think that the changing of the guard is afoot. I do believe that Marvel in the next decade will begin to take a back seat to a flourishing DC Studios. You heard it here first. We can argue about it if you want to, whatever. And here's some other names, even though, oh, my bad. Whoops. That's the wrong slide. Here's some other names that have been thrown up. They even got O'Shea, which I think would be a mistake. I'm not feeling the O'Shea. I don't want Coach from Baller. What's that show? Is it Ball? It's no. What's the show he's on?
Oh man, you would ask
the basketball
me that
show.
right
The basketball show. He does the basketball show. He's the coach.
Yes.
Yeah, I forget his name on there, but and just for the record, I fucks with young O'Shea. I like little Ice Cube, but as John Stewart, nah, bro. I'm sorry, man. But I would do Idris. I don't mind Idris. I think that might be the perfect casting. But we'll see. These other dudes, Aaron Moulton. I don't know, man, but I do think Damon might just be the good mix. Also, Deadpool is still doing numbers, and I think that the word is finally out, as we said last week. Yo, rated R movies are where it's at. Quit with the bullshit, pussyfooting around with the goddamn PG-13 bullshit. Thank you. And I think that Kraven is going to be the next experiment into whether or not the rated R thing is going to actually translate into other kind of movies that aren't just Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think that I didn't give the credit to Deadpool for using that rated R, because I mean Logan was rated R too. So those are like literally the two rated R movies connected. By the way, shout out to everybody in Chicago. I'm in Chicago right now. I'm at Zany's one more night this evening. If you know Chicago, you know Zany's. And if you want to get a ticket, go to Zany's. Oh, my bad. You can't. The souls are already sold out. Sorry. Good morning. So yeah, man, what's going on, Ty? You out of town too, right?
Yeah, I'm in Charlotte right now, so I'm out here about to watch my Jets do some damage to the Panthers later tonight, man. So yeah, I'm chilling in the NC, the North Cackalack.
North Khaki. Good luck with you, Nolly. You feeling good at the crib, man? You had anything interesting for breakfast? What's going on in your world?
I felt like cookies would be a good follow-up to my breakfast.
I'm not mad. Well, listen. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Properly, that's fine.
You are doing it perfectly. Shout out to you. Shout out to the mountain. Shout out to the house of Nali. Yo, let's go ahead and get into it. So we probably won't be here too long. Frankly, we're on hotel Wi-Fi. Hope you can hear us well. And so we'll probably end a little early today. But I definitely want to get on some of these topics. And if you could, Ty, would you mind kind of delving into, because you were one of the first ones to bring to my attention the fact that there's a possibility that Blade might be canceled. Now, before you take that and run with it, I think what we learned is that it's not officially canceled, right? But it
Mhm.
just seems like it might be. Can you give us some more details, Ty?
Yeah, so multiple sources have released, content basically saying that um, Marvel decided to not include it on their D23 Expo. Any news or anything in regards to it has kind of been like, uh, you know, I wouldn't say dismissed, but just in a very in a very calm fashion. It's like, oh, not much to talk about. You know what I mean? So at this point, we've been waiting for, I'd say what this is about 2 years now, 2, 3 years. I mean, obviously we've been waiting for the Blade movie, a reboot for a long time, but the talks have been going on for about 3 years now in regards to this movie. Where we've had two directors,
Mm-hmm.
most recently quitting, and it just raises a lot of alarms. Like, what is going on behind the scenes that is causing these directors to quit? Um,
Yeah.
these people like Kevin Feige not being able to really divulge any information in regards to this, and even I think the president of Disney, Bob Iger, they asked him
Mm.
about it as well, and no one seems to have any real concrete answers in regards to what's going on with Blade. So it has raised a lot of speculation, and a lot of people are thinking, well, this might just be done.
What do you think it is, Nali? What do you think is causing all this disarray? Why? I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard of a movie outside of Waterworld like getting like having this much difficulty finishing it. Like, what the problem is? What do you think it is?
I think the problem is that when they started all the Blade stuff, we were just coming off of COVID, and
Mm.
then they got their actors, they got the writers, they got the directors, and then all of a sudden, writer's strike, SAG-AFTRA, and everything. And so that had to be put on pause, and that took such a long time, unfortunately, that people have time constraints. They have other projects that they're signed to, so you can't marry yourself to one
Oh.
thing in Hollywood, unfortunately. And so like people had to leave projects because they had other projects coming up, and then now it's just like, is this happening? Some people left the project because they didn't like the writing. It's just I don't know. I think they need to get it together, and it's a lot of pressure too, because to follow up from the original Blades, it's like the bar is kind of set a little high, and so it's like you don't want to fuck it up. It needs to be a good project. It could be a great project, but if they don't get it together, it's never going to be a project.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the whole coming out of the strike is something to consider. I mean, but I would say, I mean, Deadpool, same thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's. I think that the propensity for the project's success is probably a lot. It does a lot of pressure. You're right. I don't know though, because this time, Ty, Blade doesn't have Twilight to ride the backs of. It doesn't have what was it, underground. What was it? What was that vampire werewolf? Underworld doesn't have Underworld. Doesn't have Teen. It doesn't have all of these vampire, all that shit to kind of like ride that wave. It's a solo vampire killing movie in 2025 or something where there's no. It's a standalone. Like nobody even really. We're not even much into that right now. Only other thing out there right now, in my opinion, is vampire Interview with the Vampire season 2, which came out. So I personally think it's some petty shit. I think Nolly's theory is more than likely and it's credible, but I think there's too many chiefs saying no, we need to do this, we need to do that, and people be like, I don't really know if we really want to go that way. Fine, I quit. This shit ain't gonna be shit no way. You know what I'm saying? I think. Well, you tell me what you think, Ty and Nolly. Ty first, since Nolly had the last question. At this point, quick question: is it better to scrap the whole thing, start from the ground up, or do you think we can pull something out of it still?
I don't think you scrap it completely. I mean, when you have somebody as talented as Mahershala Ali, who was willing to do play the role of Blade, and I think could add, so many different layers because like let's be clear, I don't even understand why Marvel doesn't just let Mahershala direct it. I mean, Mahershala is a director, by the way. Like, he has directed successful movies. So I mean, like I mean, you might have the director right there staring you in the face, but that also could be a reason why the directors are quitting. Just like you just added, it's different when a director quits as opposed to a writer. A director is quitting because he feels like they feel like they don't have creative control or control of how they want the movie to be seen or viewed, because that's the job of the director, right? The job of the director is to direct the actors in a way that makes sense on camera. That is his job, right? So if the directors keep quitting, it feels as though somehow that part of it is being threatened. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm up here trying to direct these people, maybe these people aren't receptive to what I'm saying. Maybe they're like, nah, we should do it this way, like you were saying. And that could cause somebody to be like, all right, this is a toxic environment. I don't feel like being a part of this. Like you said, the movie's going to be trash anyway. So that, the one thing that I don't agree with you on is the theory that Blade is going to have to be a standalone horror flick. See, the problem with that is horror is a very old genre. It is a genre that far exceeds you and me, and will always be a place for a horror genre, because there's cult fans that not only watch movies but read books and have these kind of theories and obsessions with the underworld, such as vampires, werewolves, and all of these things of legend, mummies. There are people that really, really are embedded in that genre. So whenever a good vampire movie, werewolf movie, any type of movie that falls into that genre comes out, if it's good, it's received well. If it's not, then it's thrown under the bus and we never talk about it again. So that's why there was really a lot of success with Underworld, because Underworld was really good and it was something new and stuff like that. The same thing would happen with Blade if Blade was good. If Blade is good, people are going to be receptive. And not only that, this has one of the things that maybe some of those movies like Underworld didn't have, which is you already had a Blade movie that, was successful, and you could also attach this property to that the Blade franchise if it's good. So you immediately are like, oh, okay, Blade was good. This follows suit. Cool. Now we got a new, a younger, more updated version of Blade, and that's what people are really kind of waiting for. So my thing is this, man. Like, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. If there are too many chiefs and not enough Indians, but we need to get it together, because we want Blade to be successful. Well, everybody but Wesley Snipes. But you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's true.
I believe Wesley is like, nah, I don't want you. I want, that is.
You think he's trying to you think he's like cinema blocking? Like he doesn't want to be superseded as Blade. I don't think.
Do you think Michael Jordan wanted to be superseded by LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Do you think Michael Jordan is over here rooting for LeBron to be successful? Yeah, I can't wait for LeBron to get that 7th championship and surpass me. No,
I don't think that LeBron James is rooting for. I mean, that Michael Jordan, but I do think that Christopher Reeves did root for Dean Cain. He did root for Henry. I mean, he wasn't around for Henry Cavill. You know what I'm saying? I think that like certain franchises, I think that the helm of those franchises wants the subsequent ones to be just as successful, so that they can, it can be a continuation of a good project. I don't know though. Maybe he is selfishly thinking, nah, fuck that. I hope this shit bombs, so y'all don't keep the respect on my name as as the origin. I mean, because I still hail Blade as the godfather of Marvel Studios. You know what I'm saying? I still think that Blade opened up the door to the world for Marvel, and I love the fact that it was done in rated R fashion. And just to kind of say something about Dizzy Death's comment, shout out to Dizzy Death, shout out to Lisa Death Urbis, everybody in the comments right now. Nolly, shout out to Nolly. I don't think that I think that Deadpool answered the whether or not Disney is gonna go there with violence. Dang, I think that's the thing of the past.
Listen, they're fully embraced. Disney didn't have a problem with him talking about cocaine multiple times in the movie. They don't listen. They do not. Disney is all about a dollar at this point. Disney, that whole idea that Disney, we all thought that. We all thought that, Disney. We all thought that. But after we saw Deadpool and Wolverine, we are very clear on the notion now that Disney has absolutely no problem with cursing, violence, drug talk, maybe not drug use, but suggestive drug talk. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't have they don't have a problem with pegging. They don't have a problem with it.
I don't know if they don't have a problem with it, but they ain't say that about it. You know what I'm saying? You think I've never dealt with one of those before? It's like, yo, that's just. But
you don't scare me. Maybe Disney, but not me. You don't scare me.
To your point, though. If I could, this is a post that we saw online from where Kevin Feige was actually thanking Ryan Reynolds, if I'm not mistaken, for the success of the rated R movie. And if you look closely, you'll notice it's laying on top of the list of all of the different names they have for cocaine, of course. Snorp, Forrest, Bump,
Sniffy Lube.
Sniffy Lube.
Oh my God.
Nose line. Hey,
Dust Fun. Bumpity
Blowing arrow. Dust Fun. Bumple still skin. Bumple still skin.
Yes. So Dizzy, if you needed proof, or you need that it's all right there staring you in the face, man. So
man, do me a favor though, Ty, if you can, because I do it. I was gonna say this for next week, but see if you could do the share screen and do it with the IG, with your Instagram, and go into our group and see if you can get that TJ Holmes video up, because TJ Holmes had some weird stuff to say about Ryan Reynolds, and I want to know what you all think about it. But in my opinion, I think here's what's going to have to happen with Blade. I think Blade needs a major shakeup, and I want to shout out another comment. Darth Urbis says Marvel's overall lack of cohesive direction is affecting Blade, and I think that is a good theory as well. Maybe there's some mix up with trying to jam Phase 5 into Blade, trying to somehow jam timelines together, make it correlate with some of the other movies that are out right now. You know what I'm saying? There's a possibility, by the way, my light may go out at any moment. I might look real different in like 5 minutes. I'm gonna look like this without no light on this shit. But I'm wondering if that's a thing too, because this is a Marvel movie. And unfortunately, it's a Marvel Studios movie, which is different from the Sony movies. So perhaps Nolly, just the overall ineptness of Marvel, which at this point let's keep it real. Deadpool's an exception. All right. Deadpool's an exception. It's an outlier of all of Marvel's projects. Hence why he was called Marvel Jesus. You don't need to save something that don't need to be saved. I still think that Marvel is a little bit in free fall. But is that what it could be, you think, maybe? The twisting of the timelines and trying to kind of like Feige it up too much?
I think Marvel has a problem. They base their phases on one story arc. Oh,
I got you. Parenting is a motherfucker.
They base their phases on one story arc. And when you got a Jonathan Major situation that affects your whole storyline, and then you have to change everything. Wow. Remember, the next phase we were supposed to get 2 Avengers movies, and one of them was King Dynasty, and now it's the Doom one.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm pretty sure that Blade fits somewhere in that timeline, which is why it was coming out in that phase. And now they have to scrap the whole thing again.
Such a great point. That is such a great point. What's up, Ty?
I was going to say this, right? Because I don't necessarily think Blade was connected at all to that, because the last thing that we saw was from Eternals, and it was Blade's voice at the end of the Eternals movie, which was not connected to any of what was going on, honestly, outside of its own universe. It looked like the Eternals, if it were to be continued, was going to start their own direction of what was going on. It was like leaning more to the intergalactic realm and out in outer space. So it wasn't necessarily going to be held on Earth. So when you saw the end of that, and then they started talking about the Black Knight and how he was supposed to be appearing in that storyline with the Black Knight and everything like that, and then we find out that Eternals not only is not getting a reboot, but that they kind of really just wanted to move in a different direction altogether. Now, if that was the problem, now if they're now having to reestablish a storyline based on just out of the blue, and that was maybe the problem with the writing, where it's like, okay, well, we had this in play, this is what we were going to go with, and have Blade kind of appear in Black Knight, and then kind of piggyback that storyline off of that. And then they were like, okay, we're not doing that. And then everybody in the writing room is confused. Like, okay, well, now where do we go? And I think if I'm a director,
right,
I have to believe in the project that I'm directing, right? I have to believe that I can direct this in a way that it not only makes me shine, but makes everybody within this shine as well. The fact, again, that we've had 2 directors quit abruptly on a Marvel project, which in just the name itself, Marvel, there's dollars behind that. So these directors are not quitting because they're not being paid. They're quitting because they either don't believe in the projects, or again, there's a toxic environment to where they don't feel comfortable in being able to do what it is that they do. Right. And so they left the projects. I, again, do not feel as though Wesley Snipes wants this movie to happen at all.
I disagree.
I honestly don't. Because I know you used Christopher Reeves, but in Christopher Reeves' defense, Christopher Reeves would have wanted someone else to take on the mantle of Superman because he couldn't. You know what I'm saying? So there's a definite difference in, rooting for someone because you want the property to succeed, and then, rooting for someone because, like, that's my man, and what I'm saying, that's my boy. Me and Mahershala, we cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm just rooting for him. But I would prefer if he didn't play Blade. But you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But no, because I feel like there was some truth. It was jest, but there was definitely some truth to what Wesley was saying.
That's what I feel like is happening right now. I feel like you're speaking in Blade's character from Deadpool 3. I think that's where you're drawing this theory, is how he was acting from that one scene. Like, there's only going to be one Blade in Deadpool.
No. I'm definitely taking it from that as well, but I'm also taking it from the fact that, again, when you are you said it first, you called Blade the godfather of Marvel. Do you think I ever want to lose that mantle or that title?
I don't think that goes away. I don't think that goes away with new projects.
I think as with any new project, and we talked about this before as well. Whenever you do something new, you have one of two things that could happen. You could benefit that project by making something better, or you can be detrimental to that project by making something worse. And so what I'm saying is, Blade, like he said, there's only going. I like the fact that I'm the only Marvel character that has only been me. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what he's like, yo, look, there's not going to be no reboots of me. There's not going to be no this of me. Yo, I'm going to always go down in history as the original Blade. And it's, listen, if it was me, I would want to feel that way. I would be like, look, I want to be always known
fuck
as
y'all.
Yeah, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, do a spinoff or some shit, but don't do my, you know. All right,
I mean? I bet Martin Lawrence is feeling the same way about the Black Knight. He's like, all the female, fuck this movie.
I'm the only Black Knight.
I'm the original Black Knight. Like, who the fuck is this Jon Snow, nigga? If you don't get you a chest jersey and go to the Middle East, you gotta go to medieval times. I think that I wouldn't mind seeing like a Black Knight too with Kevin Hart and Martin Lawrence. Like, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what's going on, Hollywood? Let's get some more Black Knight, bro. That movie was slept on so hard. But yeah, I don't think that I think Wesley's a little more gracious than that. You have to remember, like, Wesley wasn't originally gunning for Blade. You know what Wesley wanted to do? Wesley wanted, according to the articles I read, Wesley was trying to bring Black Panther to life. Like, he wanted to be Black Panther. And then Blade was brought to him. He's like, fuck yeah, I could do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But Blade wanted to do Black Panther. He's like, and so, I mean, Blade, Wesley Snipes. So I think that Wesley Snipes is humble enough to be like, yeah, man, we can pass this torch, but I would like to be involved type thing. I do want to keep my recognition. And if anything, Ty, a new Blade cements how dope the original Blade was, because in my opinion, it's going to be so hard to produce a better quality. Blade holds up. If you go watch the original Blade today, it holds up. CGI script, action sequences, not 2 and 3, the original Blade. Now it starts to get, they start getting a little crazy, in part 2, and then 3 they lost me. I ain't gonna lie. 3 I was like, okay, Dracula, that's what we're doing. All right. But the original Blade with Frost, with all the with Whistler and all them, that and the internal conflict, him having to deal with his mom, you know what I'm saying, being with his mortal enemy, and like it's just also perfect, and it oozes melanin. Like, you got Sanaa Lathan playing Wesley Snipes' mom, and so another thing I'm hoping for the comic book nerds out there, shout out to Michael Nassis, shout out to everybody who's pulling up in the chat. The chat's on fire. I'm hoping that with the shakeup, because I think that all that Blade needs is somebody to be like, all right, look, I'm here. I'm finna go ahead and do this shit. They need like a Ryan Coogler to step onto the set and be
Ryan
like, look, I don't know.
Ryan Coogler's got to do everything. Y'all, every time somebody's
Black Marvel movie. right. He is the face of Black Marvel right now. I ain't gonna lie. But they need somebody to just step in and be like, all right, I'm putting my foot down. Here's what the fuck it is. And we all gonna be happy with the results. A couple of things I'm wondering about. Are they gonna use traditional Blade villains? Are we looking at another Frost? Are we looking at vampires? Are they gonna try to go super villain, Thanos, Apocalypse bullshit? Are they going to introduce Blade's daughter? I do believe they will. The young lady Bloodline, Brielle Brooks. badder than Blade, hates Blade, doesn't even fuck with him. That dynamic between father and daughter, I think, is something that would be interesting to explore. So here's some storylines that Blade has at its fingertips that it feels like they're just unable to cohesively, as Nolly said, put together and put the fuck out. And it's getting to the point where I'm about to be like, fuck this shit. I don't want to hear about it no more. Like just call me when it's ready for its theatrical debut. Because all of the backstory is just making me feel like whatever comes out, we're going to be looking at it with a side eye, even if it's it just has to be phenomenal now, right? Am I tripping, Nolly, or what?
You're right. It has to be great. And like I was thinking about it as soon as Ty said like intergalactic storylines and stuff. I think it would have fit in whatever Marvel's original plan was, because remember, we also have Fantastic Four and Galactus is in it and whatnot. And we also got other characters at the end of Eternals. And so there was definitely a plan there. Just now we need a backup plan. I need them to get it together because, I mean, if you think about it, we waited a long time, even though it wasn't Disney, we waited a long time for the first Deadpool to come out. So I think sometimes good projects take their time, but
okay. Ask James Cameron how Avatar 2 went when it came out 30 years after the first one.
Nobody fucking asked for Pocahontas 2. Nobody asked for it.
It would have been all right if it came out right after Avatar, but like 20 years.
I seen Fern Gully. I seen Pocahontas. Why did I need it again?
And there's one more installment coming out. But you bring up a good point.
There's two more installments coming out.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, hey, and I will. And as much as I'm talking shit about it, I will be right there because I love the little floating whales and shit. I fuck with them, bro. I mean, I know I'm mad at it too, but I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there anyway. But you bring up another good point. There is news about Galactus, if I'm not mistaken. Did I get this slide? Nah, I didn't. You put up in the chat that there was somebody who had been selected as the actual actor to play Galactus, if I'm not mistaken, right? We have that news now.
The voice or the
Ralph,
actor?
The voice?
I thought he was just a voice. Is he actually playing him as I thought he was just playing the voice. He was just doing the voice.
I don't know. It looked like it. I mean, obviously he's not going to be
the actor.
Yeah. I mean, Galactus. I mean, I don't know. Look, Galactus does, have eyes and nose and arms and legs and stuff. I mean, he could, be something else. But there's a I mean, he could have a personal embodiment.
They didn't say if it was like a voice or if they were gonna like CGI him on some Thanos shit. But he's going to play Galactus.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to find it. I think that was in the was it in the Fantastic Four movie that he's gonna be playing it?
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Yep, in the Fantastic Four. So now we've got Pedro Pascal. We've got old boy from I don't know. Well, look, it looks like the Fantastic Four movie is starting to shape up to be, I don't know, fairly decent. We'll just have to see how this shit goes. Galactus is one of the biggest
guy from
villains.
Stranger Things is Human Torch. The one,
Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie.
Yeah, dude that play Eddie. Yeah, man. So I don't know. Maybe we have to look forward to that. But here's I'm trying to put this up for y'all to see it. Here's the picture of the guy from what's this? Blade. Excuse me. What's the movie we were just talking about? Fantastic Four with Galactus. I'm trying to get this up. See, this is what happened when I'm not at home. I don't have access to all this stuff. So, oh my God. Nah, fuck. Never mind. It's giving me too much trouble. You just have to take our word for it. Let's just start doing that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, we said today was going to be a little shorter. So, we've already kind of gone into our speculations with Blade. Hopefully, that turns out well. Couple other things I want to wrap on, and then I think we're gonna have to regroup next week. I'm loving. I discussed this a little bit. We touched this in the beginning, but I'm loving the search for James John Stewart, excuse me. I'm loving the fact that Idris, Damson Idris, is even in this conversation. Damn it, I keep going to that flyer on accident. It's giving me joy. John, Nadi, how about you?
I'm here for it. I hope one of them gets it, and I will then give DC a chance.
Yo, as I was saying, do y'all agree with me at all that I think that right now the comic book theatrical leadership is up for grabs. I think that this, let's call it a slump outside of Deadpool, let's call it a little bit of a Marvel slump, is providing an opening for DC. And if done correctly, they can lead the next few years with their projects. I 100%. And here's where I think we're going to start seeing some of that. When Penguin drops, I believe at the end of this month. All right, we're going to start seeing their cinematic, because we can talk a lot about the Batman and how we didn't like, Pattinson, but in terms of how Gotham looked, in terms of you know what I'm saying, like that shit was fine to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to see more of that, the cinematic version of DC. I think that when you get projects like Booster Gold, like I said, a comedy, because that's where DC is really lacking in the comedic realm. I think when you start to see this new introduction of Superman, and the Supergirl, and especially when we see Green Lantern, I think the casting for Green Lantern is going to change the tide. And depending on how well they do, I think that it's going to start to make Marvel feel like they need to finally step their game up, because they've been low key monopolizing this whole industry. Ty, you give me that look like, nah,
because it's not cohesive over at DC. See, right now you just mentioned Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves is not even part of the DCEU. He's got his own thing going on. So and he's creating his own things going forward. He's literally building his own universe. He none of the stuff that he's got has anything to do with what James Gunn is doing.
Yeah, go ahead. I think that's one of the reasons it's going to be successful. I think folks are tired of Marvel force feeding this narrative into every single. Now, it's different when it's Daredevil and Jessica Jones and they drop a line about New York and that's all. But when everybody has the same central enemy, and that enemy is not even that, like at this point, the first movie, Ant-Man, was supposed to showcase Kang, and he died. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know there's more in the dynasty, but now we're supposed to be scared of Kang for the next 5 years. It's already that match is already gone. You got to throw a Hail Mary pass to get Robert Downey Jr. to come in and play Dr. Doom. It's just not jiving, bro. I think that it helps DC to be like, look, Superman is dope, but also so is Suicide Squad 3. So is John. I think that the notion that everything has to be Marvel-esque in terms of world building's great, but it doesn't have to be a world build that requires everybody to have a centralized theme. And I think it actually works for their advantage to have a Matt Reeves saying, "Look, we're going to put together the event." It's not the Adventures of Superman. What's the name of the movie? I think
Penguin.
Superman. No. The Superman movie where young Superman comes back. I can't remember. Matt Reeves he's developing he's bringing in a new Superman. We've already seen him. He's young.
Hold up. Matt Reeves is doing that. See, no. You because you're this is
Peter Gunn.
Peter Gunn. So Peter Gunn's working for DC now.
James Gunn's. My bad. James Gunn's. Yeah, Peter Gunn's. Your Corey Gunn's. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 6 foot, 7 foot.
You're literally making my point right now. This is what I'm saying.
No.
Like you're giving credit. Listen, this is what I'm saying. You're trying to give credit to DC that isn't DC. Matt Reeves is doing some things that you're liking over here. What? Hold up, time out. And before you say that, before you do that, James Gunn has now had the opportunity to create Blue Beetle, the Adventures of Superman, which is the animated series, which is out right now. I think Kite Man, which is also out on another animated joint that is out on uh, Max. But outside of that, outside of those, I mean, you could give him credit for Flash, but it really is he just came in and they already had that done. But outside of that, there's no projects that we've seen yet that. Oh, excuse me, Peacemaker. You got to give him credit for Peacemaker. So
and Suicide Squad, where Peacemaker came from, both of them.
Well, okay. I mean, like,
oh no, I know you're not gonna do this, Mr.
No,
Weasel. You love Weasel.
No. I love the Weasel. I'm not saying I didn't like the movie. I'm not saying I didn't like the movie. What I'm saying is I'm now stacking up all of the properties that James Gunn is responsible for, and that would be DCEU properties. So what I'm saying to you is there was a time where DC could have had, kind of breached the gap, to say, but that time has passed. The thing you would when Marvel was flailing and dropping all of this garbage and everything, and that was the time to leap and pounce on them. You don't wait till they start having successes and then think that you're going to be able to catch up to that, and you still have yet to drop anything that has of any real content. Like Blue Beetle was all right. Suicide Squad was all right. Were they $1 billion box office hits? No. Do they have anything in works right now that could be $1 billion? Not that I'm aware of. All we're talking about is they're possibly looking at Damson Idris for the Green Lantern Corps. We don't know how that storyline is going to play out. We don't know how that's going to look on screen, anything. So right now, the speculation is, could DC go on a great run with no evidence that they're going on a great run? You're talking about Matt Reeves, and Matt Reeves, I do believe, is doing justice to what DC, what he's being able to create in that universe. I think he's, I told you, I watched the Cape Crusader animated thing that he's responsible for on Prime Video, and it's really good. And then, you talk about the Batman movie that you didn't really like. I liked it. I didn't
hate it.
You didn't. When I remember,
I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't love it.
Yeah, you didn't love it at all. So it was. So what I'm saying is, there's no cohesion to where Matt Reeves' universe. It's like Sony and in the MCU. It's like Sony may be coming along. They may be starting to turn the corner, but the MCU, they still are not technically. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, we are part of the MCU, but we're not gonna let you play with our toys when we're not there. You know what I'm saying? So it's fair. So. That's fair. But I mean, again, I just don't see where this is coming from, because there's nothing that DC has done that's making you like, ooh, like, oh my God, DC's turning the corner. I haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, that's why I said it's Among Us. I mean, it's upon us. Excuse me, Among Us. That's a good game, by the way. It's upon us. It hasn't hit yet, but I think that in some of these upcoming films, now, you know what really fucked it up, Ty, to be honest? The Flash. The Flash was supposed to be that movie that you're talking about, but because of Ezra, and I mean, the movie was decent. It wasn't
good.
The
movie was good. People just said, okay. We don't like Ezra. Fine. We don't like
Ezra. Ezra fucked the movie up. But that was your introduction. That was the type of movie that had there not been so much distraction, could have given you some hope if you're a DC fan that, oh shit, we might be able to put together some quality film. And I believe that more films like that are on the horizon. And that's my point. And like I said, there is a opening. There isn't like right now. Marvel is giving DC a chance, and not just DC. Dark Horse and well, if old boy didn't fuck it up, maybe Black Sands could have been. I'm saying, one of those. But I just see it. It's evident, and all they have to do is just put together projects that are on par with Flash, Peacemaker, things like that. But you did bring up Sony, and something that you and I have both discussed is that Sony has something that me and you both criticize heavily but are now starting to look at in a different light, and that is Kraven the Hunter. Now, as a Spider-Man fan, I don't know how to feel about them breaking up all these Spider-Man villains and characters and making them into, you know, Madam Web and then you know, Kraven and, you know, Venom. By the way, we may need to do next week. We may need to show the Venom trailer because I think that Venom may be going out. I think Tom Hardy's been reading the comments. I think Tom Hardy's been reading the comments, and I think, and just to say this, I don't watch trailers like that, y'all know, especially for Spider-Man shit. But I happened to peep the first couple seconds of the Venom trailer, and he's back to eating people. And I'm already on board. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. You just got it. Don't let the motherfucker go on a head diet. I don't know. Let me say that the right way. Don't let him come off of him eating people's heads as a main part of his character. I got more respect for the first Venom after watching the second Venom because I went back and watched the first Venom, and there's some scenes where he was terrifically horrifying. So what is it about Kraven, the trailer, that you see, Ty, that's starting to make you say, you know what? I might want to take back all that stuff I said about Kraven.
Well, I think it's more importantly, we should play the trailer. I think
can you
play the trailer.
Can you do it?
Yes,
all right, play the trailer.
We can absolutely play the trailer.
Before you do that, let me address this real quick. There's some people in the comments asking about what happened to Black Sands. So just to kind of give you a quick heads up, the dude that wrote Black Sand, the main the creator. I'm sorry, I even forget his name. Now that you might remember, but I don't even want to know anymore.
It's not worth repeating.
He basically, there was a young lady named the Mighty Z, right? And
she's not the only one.
Yeah, she's one of the many people who basically was like, Black Sands is cool and all, but it's kind of interesting how you portray all these manga-ish characters as very, very very like male.
It's male centric. It's very hotep and it's very misogynistic. And he himself is a huge misogynist. Dare you even ask a simple question? He will make 5, 6, 7 videos about you, harass you, send people to harass you. He can never account for where all the money that people donate goes to at all. He fucked up his Shark Tank investment. It's just not, it ain't going well for him. And I don't pray for people's downfalls much, but if you putting out negative energy, you gonna get it back. And that's it. And
he said something like, and I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of "fuck the blurs." You know what I'm saying? Yes. We don't need these blurs. Who are these blurs? You know what I'm saying? Type shit, and was like mocking blurs, which, as y'all know, it's in our name. New Blurred Order,
which is wild because he's trying to use that community to make money off. Like, why would you bite the hand that feeds you?
No sense. Like, literally, we was on here trying to push Black Sands to the public because we rooting for it, but then you'll turn around and then shit on the community that's literally tailor-made for your products. So that's what happened with whoever that is. We ain't even gonna say his name. And we had Mighty Z on. I'd recommend you go back and watch, hit YouTube and check out our interview with Mighty Z where she went into all the details about it. Because she was like, "Yo, he was attacking me," and it was like a year after. I didn't even said that shit. It's been like so long since I said that, and it just went reviral, and so that's what went on with Black Sands. But anyway, yes, Lisa, you're not the only one that is now looking forward to Kraven the Hunter. Kraven is not only starting to look like it's going to be a dope ass action film, but the fact that I believe, and I know I'm harkening back to some shit I keep saying, but the fact that it's rated R, it means that, listen, the folks who love these comics growing up are now grown up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to see grown up shit with our comic book characters. And I hated Kraven as a villain, like literally like my least favorite villain. Like, he's so unexciting. He's just a man who now has animal instincts that are heightened, and you're able to do things, and you're faster, and you have good smell, and you can hear well, and you can see well, and
you're so stronger.
You're Marshall Bravestar. Like, I don't hate, but the way they depict him in this where he's jabbing motherfuckers in the neck and shit, and like run and like hanging off trees and shit, and he's all in the jungle and shit. Yeah. I'm not mad. And you low key see the vision that Sony has. Because at some point, Madam Web, Venom, Kraven, they're gonna start putting together some script where we see crossover. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, and keep your eye on this trailer. You might see more villains and potential characters with the Spider-Man universe.
Let me find out.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
My son, we are hunters, the greatest the world has ever known.
Охотник, это сказки.
Каждый сказки есть правда.
Who's next?
I heard the noise of thunder.
Are you like your father? A gangster? A killer?
And I heard a voice. And behold.
Oh, fuck!
Hell followed with him. There's a man going round taking names. My son. And he decides who to free and who to blame. Yes, an animal stronger than you can imagine. The hairs on your arm will stand up.
Tell me about this hunter.
Some are born and some are died.
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
When the man comes around. When the man comes around. Whoever is unjust.
You think you're some kind of honor, some kind of code.
Will be unjust.
Oh my God.
Another man
Whoever is righteous.
hunting for a trophy,
Let him be righteous still.
just like our father.
When the man comes around. When the man comes around.
Embrace who you really are, son.
Yo!
And you will become a legend.
When the man comes around. When the man comes around.
Okay, I wasn't ready. Legit.
Yeah.
I did not know
Yeah.
Rhino
Yeah.
was in this shit. I did not know. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Let me get it. Yo, did you see all the violence, my nigga?
Bro,
the bear traps
bro.
on the neck.
Bro.
Bear traps on the neck, my nigga. Yo, I'm ready. Like I'm full 180 on this movie. And look, the only complaint I have, and this is an inside the Beltway type of complaint, is that Kraven is low-key anti-hero vibes, you know what I'm saying? But he is still a villain, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I'm really loving how they take villains and make them into superheroes. You know what I'm saying? That's the only complaint. That's the only complaint I have.
The same thing with Morbius. They did the same thing
with Morbius and Venom, and I don't know if I like them giving the villains like good conscience and backstories that make you have so much pity for them and all of that. I'm not really into all that. I love the fact that it looks like they casted his wife perfectly, because in the comics she is a person of color, very smart. They're both genetic scientists, if I'm not mistaken. At least they were in the comics. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's Mobius. I done blended the two movies together. My bad. But I believe that his wife is still some sort of scientist in this movie. It might not even be his wife in this one. I did just mix those two movies up. But yeah, that's the only complaint I have. Now you always have with Marvel the opportunity to run an angle where you're like, all right, well, yeah, he was a superhero, but then he turned bad type shit. But it would be nice to just have a villain give me a Brightburn type movie where you root for the bad guy. I mean, again, just to harken back to the DC references, Joker broke records. Nobody on this show liked it, including myself. I wasn't a huge fan, even though there was a couple scenes that I thought was kind of dope. But embrace the villain. Don't make the villain a hero just for cinematic gain. Nolly, what you think?
I agree, but I feel like to Darth Erebus' comment, it is Sony's MO at this point. I'm a little anxious because I really want Marvel Disney to grow the Spider-Man universe in the next couple of movies that they have planned. And the issue is that when Sony uses a Spider-Man character, it bans Marvel Disney from being able to use it in certain movies for a couple of years. I feel like they're just trying to grab whatever to like limit how much power Marvel Disney has over the franchise and see if they can be successful on their own. And they're not doing a really great job for the most part, but it's promising, and so I hope it does well. But with Sony Marvel, they'll give us a good trailer and then the movie comes out and we're like,
yeah, we saw all that in the trailer.
Basically, it was just the trailer. Got it.
Yeah. Which is why I don't watch them. I ain't gonna lie. I probably would have been better served to learn about Rhino while actually in the movie. But I mean, at this point, you probably do have to sell me on going to see the Kraven. And there's another good comment in here. Real quick, shout out to I think it's Darth Erebus. Yes, in the Spider-Man 2 game, Kraven was very, very, very prominent, and his character was dope as hell. I mean, we forget how much he's not only this dude with all these senses, but also has in the game he has this he's almost like a kingpin. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like got this whole. He's all over the place. You know what I'm saying? He's got a very big operation, is what I'm saying. So gives us something to look forward to, man. Speaking
of all over the place, man, Russell Crowe's all over the place, ain't he? He's playing
he is.
Zeus. He's playing Zeus and Thor. He's Kraven's father and Sony. He's everywhere, isn't he? He's like
he was something else too, wasn't he? I feel like he was something else too. Like
he's stacking them checks. I respect the hustle.
Yeah, that dude.
Superman's dad, right? Was he Jor-El, right?
Jor-El. He was absolutely Jor-El. So yeah, he's out here getting that bread, man. He's like, man, whatever you need me to do, DC, Marvel, whoever wants.
So I think, and Mike Onassis, shout out to Mike. This is a good point because this is what I was about to say. The way that they can translate this to Spider-Man is they show how badass Kraven is, and then they show how he somehow has made Spider-Man his arch nemesis for whatever reason that may be. And then Kraven comes for Spider-Man in a Spider-Man Kraven movie. And now you have Sony finally starting to make some sense.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this much, right? If it really starts making sense, then it makes dollars. And when it makes dollars, Disney has a pocketbook that just don't end. So let me just tell you something, Sony. Just go ahead and keep on making successful things. Try to make some successful things, and we don't have to have this discussion no more because Disney's gonna buy y'all motherfuckers out. And at that point, no, it is absolutely going to happen. They're like the only reason that they have not bought Sony out is because all Sony has had to offer thus far is Spider-Man. That is all they have. Like, look, we got Spider-Man. They're like, that's all they look. No, what do you mean? Whoa.
I mean, but you say all they have is Spider-Man. It doesn't appear that way. It appears that they have Spider-Man and all Spider-Man related characters.
No, okay, no. You're not hearing what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. You're saying that's franchise wise.
I'm saying the reason that they have not bought them out thus far is because all they had was Spider-Man. Now,
okay. I see what you're saying.
Now what you're doing is you're opening up the universe and showing we have properties that can make you money. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so once Disney realizes that if Kraven has the success that if this trailer is if this is like indicative of what type of direction Sony is willing to go at this point, where they're like, okay, now we know there's no problem with violence with we going full on accept the role of the violent side of the comic book world. If they go that way and then drop a Miles movie, and the Miles movie, because that's coming, the Miles Morales movie is coming. If Kraven has success, the Venom franchise may end with Tom Hardy or may not. They may decide to
Tom Hardy.
They may decide to pass that on. So look, I'm hoping that this Kraven movie is everything, because you saw how excited I got in the chat when I saw the joint. I was like, this. Yeah, so this.
Oh, in the chat.
Yeah, in the chat. Like this, if this turns out to be what we think it could be, man. Woo! Man. And shout out to, what's the dude's name who played Kraven?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Quicksilver.
Another
Quicksilver
dude.
Fame.
This is what I'm about to say. Another dude who's out there getting them checks. Mr. Taylor.
Yeah. Quicksilver. Kick ass.
Yes.
All right. And there was, I think was he in Fall Guy? I don't know if he was in Fall Guy, but was he in Barbie? I feel like he was in some other movies recently that I don't know, but I might be making all this up. Somebody IMDb him real quick. All right, we're gonna start wrapping this up real quick, man. But we geeked up for a complete 180, like the same way I was telling you about Madam Web, and I know I'm the only person on the face of the earth who won't trash Madam Web. I get that it wasn't great.
Nah,
I understand what they were doing. They're trying to make a superhero movie, and they're also trying to. I hope I'm not going out of bounds by saying this, but with the cast that they had, they're trying to draw in more women viewers for comic. I mean, it was all, and I ain't gonna lie, like the cast did their little thing. Dakota did her thing. The villain was great in my opinion, honestly, but. It wasn't.
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. Dakota did her thing. Dakota did not do her thing.
Dakota did her thing. I think
Dakota was trash, but the movie wasn't bad. The movie was not as bad as people.
She had some bad moments. There were some moments where she definitely didn't deliver. As a matter of fact, you know what? Now that I'm rethinking it, there was some times where she did overact a little bit. So maybe she didn't do her thing, but I think that the movie, if it gets a sequel, or even if it doesn't, even if you just see some of the characters that they brought us, because we did get a new band of Spider-Man characters in this origin story with Madam Web. We got this, we even saw Ben Parker and Spider-Man, Peter Parker and stuff. So yeah, man, I'm not opposed to this method of thinking, Sony. But okay, Darth Erebus, you got me, bro. He's right. So it's Kraven just likes to hunt. All right, but my point was just that if they establish a rivalry from Kraven and Spider-Man and make it so that you are looking forward to a collaboration of those two characters, then you're going to see, in my opinion, the most successful of the latest Marvel installments have been ones where they introduce characters within the movie and then they go from that movie into other characters. Case in point, with the only few exceptions being like Iron Man and Captain America. Okay. But like when you have, an Avengers movie, and then you go and you give Hawkeye a show, you go and give Black Widow a movie, it happens because we were introduced to them in a certain way. I think you could do the same thing with these movies, you know what I'm saying, as you see what they're doing with Rhino and all of that. So we'll look forward to it. We'll see. All right,
real quick, Vince, this feels a lot like that strategy. Because if you think about it, they did the Morbius movie, that you have Venom, you have Kraven, you have Madam Web. you potentially could put together a team and boom, you know, now you have you could do your version of an Avengers type esque film. Not I'm you know I'm saying not.
I heard what you're saying. Shout out to Minnie. I see Minnie that pulled up. Samunda, we see your old boy. Yeah. So good luck to you, Sony. Let's just say you have our attention. And again, I know I'm beating this horse, and I know it's been dead, but I'm gonna say it again. Rated R. Kraven is rated R. All right. Mm-hmm. The next Venom will be rated R. I think they're finally starting to realize, like, it's difficult for you to give the viewers what they want when you're trying to tailor to a 12-year-old crowd. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, so thank you for finally coming to the war room and leaving with the actual advice that we gave you intact. Last thing I want to wrap on, this is a sad subject real quick. As of late, Nolly, you put us on to this. Boda Mayo, it was the guy who basically single-handedly reintroduced the world to the X-Men 97 series. We knew he was fired, but we didn't know why. And Nolly, evidently we have some information on that.
So this is why y'all should just stay quiet sometimes. So he made a statement implying that because he posted some risque Cyclops fan art of him as Cyclops in some underwear, and that Marvel messaged him and let him know that because of the post that they were removing his writing credits from season 2, that he implied, you know, like, oh, they're just trying to get me because I'm a little risque and a little gay. And then Marvel had to come out and be like, no, we investigated you and there were some egregious things we found, and that's why we parted ways. And now rumors are coming out it's because he was sending nudes, being inappropriate, and groped somebody. And so I don't know if those are exactly true, but it's not looking great.
Yeah. So, now, what is it? So here's what it says. Here's a post that he wrote. I'm gonna see if I can put this on the screen. I'll just read it as it is. It says, first of all, I'm so grateful to have worked on X-Men 97, collaborating with some amazingly talented folks. Creating the revival, was a dream come true. Supporting the fans I've shown so touching. However, I felt it pressing for me to speak up in the wake of leaving the show. On the next slide, X-Men is fan art I posted on Instagram with Gay Pride. Yeah. Marvel sent the letter to me notifying they stripped me of my season 2 credits due to the post. Sadly, this is the latest and troubling pattern I suffered through while working on X-Men 97 and Blade.
Yeah, he said and Blade.
And I'll have more to say soon, but I must take a step back from social media to find a safer space for me to be proud and nerdy. And basically, you're saying that Disney was like, yeah, nah, that's not what happened, bro. There was more things. And I don't know, Ty. Is this self-sabotage or is this what are you reading out of this, man?
I mean, that's it's the pure definition of self-sabotage. I mean, if you would have just been quiet, then they wouldn't have had to expose you. And like that's literally what you did. You poked the bear and the bear mauled you. And that's like, I don't know if this is true or not, but if it turns out to be true, then yeah, man, like you can't just go around like whatever your sexual orientation is, you can't be going around just making people feel uncomfortable, you know, just because you're in a position to do so or feel like you're in a position to do
even
so.
More so.
Even more so. So I hope for his sake that these allegations are not true. But if they do, like I said, turn out to be true, then yeah, the lesson here is, you know, when you're walked out of the office quietly, just leave. Just don't come back. Don't come back. Don't come back to the job talking about y'all motherfuckers ain't shit. No, you should have just left when we escorted you out. and we wouldn't have had to show people the pictures and all of the text and all of the you know what I'm saying, the allegations. We wouldn't have had to do that. We didn't have to expose you. You could have went on to the next job, and you could have made whatever scenario you wanted be the reason you left. But now you have Marvel, Disney on record saying this is why we fired him. And that's, you know, so look now, I mean, if it's not true, you should have a lawsuit pending against them right away. And if you don't have a lawsuit pending right away, well, that says a lot.
Well, I mean, even if he has a lawsuit, you're going up against Disney. Even the governor of Florida couldn't win a war against Disney. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if this is the right strategy. He basically is trying to say they fired me because I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Disney's like, have you seen Disney? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we were like the pride people. Like people boycotted us because we had pride parades. Now I'm not trying to say Disney's perfect because they fucking are not. We know that's the case, and we know the origin of Disney, and so we don't have to go down that path. Yeah. But at the same time, man, like this is giving me Kanye vibes. I don't know if y'all heard, like during Kanye's whole spat, like there was reports of him having pornography on the TVs at his place of employment where he hired people, him showing his assistants what porn he watched that day, and then being upset with people for speaking about it in public. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to be careful when you're given a gift like being able to rewrite and redirect. There it goes. That's how we know this is about to be over. Redirect one of Marvel's most notorious, most loved franchises. You do not make mistakes like this. These are rookie mistakes. All right. I don't see nothing wrong with this picture. All right. That's one thing. All right. It is what it is. But if there's stuff where he's sending these things with suggestive stuff to people on his staff and stuff like that, Disney don't have time to be paying out lawsuits for everybody who you may or may not have touched. They need straightforward, surefire stability with the people that they have at the helm. If you were just some writer, one of the people maybe, but you're the guy. The only question I have, and it's the last thing, in your opinions, guys, as we have to go because the light is now gone, and I look like I'm in a house of horrors. Does this mean there will be no X-Men 97 season 2, or that X-Men 97 season 2 will be trash? Nolly?
So it's already written and done, so I don't think it'll be trash, especially since it had the same team that worked on season 1. I worry about maybe what will happen beyond season 3, but I think if they take notes from the first 2 seasons and its success, then I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, remember, remember, Vince, they signed up for season 2 and season 3 mid-season 1. Mid-season 1, they were already like, we're on board for 2 and 3. So like that tells you everything you need to know. Like they were. Disney is totally and utterly sold on X-Men 97. So whether it's Bo DeMaio or whoever they decide to bring in, they're going to make sure that the writing is good and that the story that the story continues to be told in the fashion that it needs to be told. So I'm definitely not in any way feeling as though Disney is not going to get this. You know, they're not going to get this X-Men 97 story right.
Shout out to Antoine, Gina Carano vibes. That's exactly what it is. He's like, yo, just be quiet, please. Shut up and dribble, and we'll get you this check. Nah, I mean, but yeah, man, I just hope this doesn't, because either way, I think that he's already cemented himself into Marvel royalty. Even if he does have, even if from this point forward, if he's run out of Marvel, run out of Disney, what he did in terms of the Marvel's X-Men 97 reboot is going to go down in history as one of the most successful reboots of almost any project, period, in my opinion. Like, he made it better. Am I tripping? Like, he made it better.
I mean,
And that's what they were saying about like how having somebody who actually lived that type of adversity. Now, given his shortcomings, can bring that to life in the script. No, Ty?
No. I think he did a fantastic job. But I think if these allegations come out and they're true, and the people that he did this to start coming out of the woodworks, it will completely sully his reputation and sully everything that he did. It would be the same as House of Cards, the dude from House of Cards who had a phenomenal run.
Yeah. Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. Once Kevin Spacey was found out, it didn't matter that you had a phenomenal run with House of Cards and how phenomenal that show was. It was like, yo, matter of fact, they ended it shortly after that. Like, yeah, like we can't sustain this, any further because of the backlash that came from him. So I think, and I don't necessarily think that about X-Men, but I think that as far as like him being at the forefront, I think what would easily happen is if X-Men 97 season 2 is better, is just as good, if not better than season 1, whoever is the responsible party for that would then move into that limelight and have that the Marvel Hall of Fame, all of that. But your name doesn't stay in the Hall of Fame once you get tarnished like that, especially when it comes to sexual accusations and doing stuff like that. Nah, like Jonathan Majors is living down some text and some inappropriate conversations and some allegations and all of that kind of stuff. So when you have those that type of stuff, yeah, it's hard to you gotta go on a real tour to gotta cry and do all of the stuff that he's doing and everything like that. So
yeah, man, and I mean, maybe it's a topic for a later date, but the question now is whether or not does he admit perhaps if there was any misgivings that he was wrong and he needs to get help, or does he just maintain this fight and say, "Nah, I'm taking it to the grave. I was right. I have a right to be able to exploit myself to my, subordinates or whoever it was." I don't know all of the story, but I kind of wish we could talk to him. I know Tiffy was on a panel with him recently, and I think I might give her a call and just see, like, what was that experience like? Did she interact with him right quick? Maybe she'll come and tell us about it. But that's all I got for this week, man. I think this is nice, short, sweet, to the point. And my light was like, "Look, you said we was gonna be done 10 minutes ago." It's like it's been 10 minutes.
Like, let's go,
right. Yo, enjoy the Jags game, man. I know you're gonna go out there. Hopefully, you don't get rained out. You know what I mean?
First of all, how dare you? I'm not a Jags fan. I'm a Jets fan.
Jets, my bad.
I don't appreciate that.
You would root for the Jags if they was doing. They're not bad. They're not terrible.
I would never root for the Jags. They are an AFC team. I am a Jets fan for the final time, sir. So why would I ever root for?
Because you got Duval roots.
I don't have no Duval roots. I'm not from Duval, sir. I'm from New Jersey. But brother, let's get out of here before I have to smack you through this.
We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there because we having problems right now, but we still outside. Hopefully we get out of this slump we in. But yeah, I'm gonna go check out this it's gay sports ball. You know what I'm saying?
I love sports ball.
I'll just say
Fuck you with both my hands, Minnie.
What's Minnie talking about? What you saying? What's Minnie saying? Minnie say both.
Minnie talking about they both wear green and both take L's.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I watch baseball games, it's difficult for me to separate the nerd shit because, like, if you ever look at a catcher, he looks like he's wearing Vegeta's out. Like, all catchers have Super Saiyan garb on, which I think is hilarious. Yesterday, I go watch the game with the Cubs and the Blue Jays, which they have a player named Bo Bichette, which to me sounds like Boba Fett. We got a dude on the Cardinals named Mason Wynn, which sounds to me like Mace Windu. We got Juan Soto Yamamoto on the Yankees, which sounds like Han Solo to me. But I can't separate them. I can't for me to enter out. They're interchangeable. But yeah, baseball is that's where my sports ball passion is. I can't do the NBA much. I used to be in the NFL, but the Rams, they left us. So
you on to something there, Vince. We'll talk about that later, but you're on to something.
All right, cool. But yeah, man, you got anything to say to everybody, bro?
Hey, man, I just wanted to thank the comment section, man. Y'all been on fire today. Hey, and we appreciate it, man. We want to continue to grow. We want to keep coming and bring y'all the content and the information we turn up Blair talk. Hey, we'll do that sometime, man. You have no idea. Tune in, because we will turn that into something really quick. But again, thanks to the comment section. Thanks for everybody for showing up and supporting. Continue to do so. If you could, hit that like, that subscribe button on the way out, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And until next week, let's go.
All right, and as we always say, man, be your authentic self, because if you ain't being yourself, you being fake for the mucker. And in all things, if you a geek, whether you unless you're sending out weird pictures, go ahead and let that geek flag fly. Go Cardinals, go Jets, and go Mighty X-Men. And whatever Nolly's team is, but I think it's like a Sailor Moon team.
I used to be really into the NFL, and then I don't know what happened to the Giants, and so I gave up. So I just, whoever's looking good, I even stopped fantasy football. Like I was so disheartened.
Oh, wow. I get it. I wish you on that, man. Well, either way, we on our shit. We back next week. Y'all tell a friend, pull back up again. Great conversation. Thank you, chat. Deuces.
I love the new blurred order. You should too.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old